listen up and strap in. You've clicked that pile of audio gold known as the Half-Assed Podcast. And now, it's starting. So here's a person to say some things. She's up and running.
Perfect. All right, well, guess here for episode 2. Start off with Zach Ertz talk, getting traded to the Cardinals. That's a little surprising after last night's performance.
Well, I think that was the whole gig, was wait until he has a game with a touchdown and say, see, he's still can do it.
I mean, but you know how the Eagles work. They run like 4 tight ends.
Right. Well, and Goddard was out with fucking COVID.
Yep. He was out,
I
so
mean,
they
if that's
tossed
not
him in that spot.
Well, they've been trying to move him since the preseason. I think I have him in 3 dynasties, and it's another one of those where if you look at it, he's actually like a year older than Gronkowski.
Incorrect. Gronkowski is 32. Zach Ertz is 30.
No, but yeah, he's been around a while, and I don't know if he's just working back into shape or if this is what it is, but in the NFL, if you got that size and experience at tight end, you're worth it to somebody.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way the Eagles play. Like they like blocking tight ends that can go off the block and then just get yards. And they always run, like I said, they run so many tight ends.
Well, their wide receivers are junk.
Yeah, well,
I mean, maybe not so much now, but I mean historically, the last 5 to 7 years, fucking name one.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's not for lack of trying. Like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside went up high, and
Alshon Jeffrey, but he was.
Yeah, they took
old.
a handful of guys. Well, they didn't draft him, did they? No.
I actually like a few of the Eagles wide receivers right now. I just don't think Hurts is good in my opinion. It's going to take him a year or two. Because I like Rager, I like Devontae Smith, I like Greg Ward Jr.
Smith
too.
has been good.
I think Rager is just like.
Well, their big leading receiver last year was Fulgham, and they sent him to the practice squad.
Yeah, very.
And nobody else tried to poach him. It's like, wow, that tells you a lot about what shape their wide receiving core was in, and that's why multiple tight ends and handful of running backs, and now they've got a quarterback that can run. And surprisingly, some of the wide receivers look like they're panning out. So it's not looking like a bad offense to take gamble on.
Yeah, I mean, I think any offense that has a quarterback like Hurts, like Kyler Murray, Wilson, all those, any ones that kind of scramble around to make, you're going to find success on their offense in fantasy a little bit. It's a little bit of a guessing game for the Eagles, but.
Yeah, Ertz has been really solid for the last handful of years. Like I said, I had him in probably 3 of my 4 dynasties, and I had been trying to trade him and couldn't get a sack of fucking hammers for him. And now that he's going to change of scenery here, I bet you I can get something out of him. But at the same time, I want to move him?
I think he's going to be a great tight. I think you'll see him top 15 tight end again on Cardinals. I guarantee
I would hope
it.
So.
I guarantee it. Well, I was listening to a different podcast, and they said that Ertz was like a top 15 tight end, and then he had 1 year where he was like hurt out, and then it's like the year after that they didn't really use him as much, and then it's this year. So he was like his whole career up until like 2 years ago where he was hurt, he was great, and then out of nowhere they're just like, well, we already have new tight ends. Time to move him.
Oh, and he's in the last year of the contract too. And I said wrong side of 30, but I picked him up in my 10-man. I've had him since his rookie year. So I can definitely vouch for he's been solid, bang injury 2020. And now he's still coming back. I mean, he was.
I think he's worth keeping. If you are like an Ertz owner right now, I think he's worth keeping now. Just because I think Kyler Murray, he's an amazing quarterback. He spreads the ball probably better than anyone, just as good as anyone, I think. He's amazing.
Like I have three of my 4 dynasties. My tight end situation, I won't say is a mess, but it needs basically once Ertz fell off, I kind of got caught with my pants down. So
Yep.
the last 2 years, it's been like shit. I went from steady, solid productivity to scrapping to put it together. So I've kind of actually had to put in the work at tight end. So that had been paying off. I was trying to get, like I said, anything out of Ertz just to thin down. I have so many and none,
I think
and
I think
now I mean, fuck it.
I think tight end is similar to the running back position where you either are, oh, I'm set, or all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I need someone. Like it happens every time for me. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm set at tight end, and then all of a sudden one goes down, and the other's like maybe a second, like he's not their main target, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're like, what? I thought I was set. It happens all the time with tight end, at least for me.
Well,
That's one that goes under the radar.
that's another position, just like I do with quarterback. I like to keep 3 on the roster generally. I like
Yep.
to have a vet who I can rely on, a guy in his prime, and like a rookie project. So I like to keep all 3 of those at the same time. So I'd had the last 3, 4 years, I had Ertz with like Evan Ingram behind him. So I was like, oh, feeling pretty good. You threw an old guy in there in the mix just in
Yep.
case. Well, now Ertz became that old guy. Engram became the vet, only I can't trust him. And the young guys aren't doing anything and all. It's like, oh shit. Like, yep, pants down type of deal.
I mean, I'd say I probably, now that I've been playing fantasy like seriously for like probably 5 years, like before I was just like throwing, but now I'm like pretty serious about it. I would say that's a pretty good way to go. Like 3 running backs, 3 tight ends, and it sometimes it doesn't feel right, but you almost have to.
Well, that's the nice thing is if you can keep your quarterback and tight end position down to 3, that leaves you the flexibility to have 5 wide receivers, 5 running backs. Maybe throw a sixth in of one to try to. So it's that's the reason. One of the reasons I try to do it, but it's yeah. And I said when Ertz went from reliable vet to KG veteran, it was like, oh shit, I can't trust Ingram. And yeah, it was just all 3 rebuilds all at once. I feel pretty good
Yeah,
about it.
Ingram, it's like he looks like he should be a monster when he does play, and then like all of a sudden it's just nothing, no productivity. It's weird. I've always liked like his play style. I always thought he was a beast, but yeah, I don't know. His
Yeah, he's
productivity is
more to
pretty
the
low.
smaller side for the new crop of tight ends. He's like 6'3". He
Correct.
figures more like a big wide receiver really than a tight end, which is kind of what I liked about drafting him. But you have to have an offense that's going to use the tight end like that and is able to get a ball out. So, yeah, it's been a mess in New York the last few years. So I'm not quite sure what to make of him still. That's what's shitty. It's like, oh, you can't be the guy I'm trying to develop and the guy that I need to start at the same time. That's no bueno.
Yeah, and I think, well, another problem is the Giants have so many weapons.
They
It's
really
really
do.
their wide receiver is amazing. They have Saquon. I mean, even it just feels like everything on the Giants offense is amazing besides their line, besides
Right.
their O line.
Which was helpful that Jones could run, but now I don't know how long is he out and how long is he out?
I don't I don't know. Is he out for an extended amount of time?
Didn't he get pummeled?
Probably.
Let
I
me check.
mean,
I have
their
him
O
in
line's
my
pretty trash. I see
well,
that
and like I
Chubb
said, he
and
runs.
McCaffrey are out this Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Caffrey and Chubb are out.
Oh,
So I
Jones
guess
has
that.
been cleared by a neurologist and doesn't have an injury designation.
Hmm.
So I guess we'll see. Sounds like they'll play him.
Yeah, I mean. Oh, nice.
Huh.
And I think Jarvis Landry's coming back too. I see that.
Yeah, I've had a dude trying to trade him to me for like 3 weeks. I'm like, why? Why do I want an injured player? Like, why? Why
I would
do I
take
want?
Landry for like cheap.
If it was a
Like,
dynasty,
yeah, if it was cheap, I would. Yeah, and
I'd
if it
take him
was a
in a dynasty,
dynasty.
right? No, this is a 1-year league. Like, why do I
Yeah.
want a guy who's not coming back? I'm gonna get if he comes back and performs, I get what 40% of his season of the fantasy season. Like that's
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense if it's a 1 year.
And that's if. Who's to say it doesn't take him 3 weeks to get up to speed or whatever? And it's just,
Yeah. It's
like,
like,
why
he
do
could
I
even
need that?
play, and they might not even try to target him.
Right. He could just be a decoy out there. He's good enough to run, but they don't want to get him hit or anything. And I'm not sure what his injury even is. So,
Something with his MCL, so probably not.
okay.
Yeah, it's his knee problem, I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't want to, risk him, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely, they're a better offense with him in it. Is Beckham back
I think
still?
he's coming back this week.
I knew he came back, but I didn't know if he came back and went out again because I've
Well,
just
I
kind of become
know.
accustomed to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've avoided him in fantasy forever, so
Me too. Me too.
he's an active avoid for me.
Yeah.
Um,
You got any other of those off the top of your head?
yeah, Julio Jones.
Yeah, now I took him in a 1 year, but definitely
I would take
dynasty.
him for
It's
dirt cheap,
yeah. I mean,
just because he's there.
you'd have to give him away to me because you're trying to clear roster spot for some weird reason. Bring up a
Typically,
rookie.
I stay away from the big wide receivers unless
Okay.
they're in their prime. I think I would go like Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson, but you're gonna pay out the ass for them,
Right.
and, and that's
Wow.
just strictly thinking not snake draft, I guess. But yeah, in snake draft, I would take those guys all day. But I'm just thinking in terms of actual team, yeah, I would it'd have to be thrown up to me.
Let's see, like Brandon Cooks used to be a guy like that for me, and then I got into it with somebody online about it and started watching him closer, and it was like, holy fuck,
Brandon
this
Cook,
guy
yeah,
can play.
he's also junk time special.
Right,
he's the
but
junk time special.
well, that was the reason. Is like he's been on 4 teams. He's like 26. Like what? Like what is the reason that he doesn't stick? There's got to be something. So I guess I'd kind of labeled him a journeyman in my head, and turns out even with the Texans' third string quarterback, he still puts up numbers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got anybody off the top of your head that you'd avoid?
Uh I a lot
What
of it
about
for
in the
me
running back
is
area?
the running. I'm very particular in the running backs. If you're talking like a 1 year, well, 1 year league's totally different from
Yeah, who would you
dynasty.
avoid? Who would you avoid running back wise?
In a 1 year,
Yeah.
um, I I really try to avoid the big names, like usually Saquon and Zeke. I'll
Yep.
steer away from.
Oh, those guys are off my list.
Like if I can, let it slip and get Kamara, I'd much rather do that.
Yep, I'd rather get Kamara. He's the first guy. He's the first big name that I would think I would take.
In
For
yeah,
me, at
in
least.
1 year leagues, it's basically names I try
Yeah.
to stay away from because somebody's going to overpay for them based on the name and the fact that it's a 1 year league, and yeah, you might as well let them. In a dynasty, it's different. I definitely stay away from dudes with injury histories,
Yep. I
anything
think
like that, off-field shit.
another one off the top of my head is I always stay away from Dalvin Cook for some reason. I don't really have a reasoning behind it.
Right,
I
I've
just
got dudes
am.
like that too.
I think it's just because his peer he touches the ball. He has so many touches. It's just how can he handle that for so long?
Like, yeah, he's gonna break.
It just doesn't. I just don't see him
They're
lasting
gonna break
forever.
him.
Is there any running back surprises this year?
Um, the
For me,
problem,
it's James Conner.
yeah, that has been that had come out of left field. I have him in my second 12 man, and my position was so decimated, I'd been forced to start him, and I was feeling good about that.
Yeah, I mean he's been getting touchdowns, touches. He's been doing great, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, my running back position there was I was starting Mike Davis, Tony Pollard, and James Conner. So I should be getting my
Oof.
brains beat in, but they're playing well every week.
Oh yeah, I think Dallas realizes that they can't run Zeke into the ground, so they've been running Pollard a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of been scaled back a little the last few weeks, but still, you can see that the talent level's there. So it's just sooner or later, it basically more comes down to game plan.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, running back's a tough position nowadays. Like back in the day, you could rely on one guy playing for a whole season almost.
Yeah,
Like
and getting
now, oof.
275 touches, and yeah, you pretty much knew. But between running back by committee and game plan fluctuation, where they can, you get down and all of a sudden your running back's out of the game.
Well, and nowadays longevity is such a thing that they almost every team tries to run at least two running backs now. Back
Yeah.
in the day, like you could see the same running back every week for the whole game.
Yeah, and now it's like I get some third, fourth round guy out of some,
Yep.
East Memphis State Tech,
And
and
he ran for an absurd amount of yards.
right.
It's
You're like,
like
yeah, plug him in.
that's like Heineke. Like they were going over his thing. It's like he shattered like every record in his division, shattered the school records in college, and it's just like, how is this guy just like
They're like, yeah,
overlooked?
maybe you can make a roster.
Yeah. Well, look at him now. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard nowadays at running back. At least for me, like obviously you have your main guys that are just going to be touching the ball, but like past like the top 10, 15, it's just like a toss up.
Yeah, and it's, as I said, in the terms of longevity, it's the position that's going to be the easiest. If you've got a bad crop, it's going to be the fastest to cycle through.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you got, receivers playing 10, 12 years. You got quarterbacks playing 15. It's like, some of these running backs, 4, 5, you get a good
Yeah.
one lasting 7 years. It's like, ooh, boy, that's amazing. So
I
if,
think they said
if
the
your running
league
backs,
average is like 3 years for running back.
oh, I don't doubt that at all.
I think it's 3. But yeah, go on. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
well, that's it. It's so short that if you want to pick one position to be terrible at in a dynasty, it's probably the one that turns over the fastest.
yeah, it's bothersome, and it sucks because like that all it takes to win a fantasy game is one pop off, from one running back who gets three,
Right.
4 touchdowns,
But that's
and
always
he
the
doesn't even need
dude
to
that
touch the ball
just,
that much.
yeah, that's always the guy that picked somebody up off the wire and just threw him at you, and it just blew up in your face and
Yep, and he
absolutely
gets
cock
he gets
punched.
4 goal line touches for 4 touchdowns. You're like, okay,
Right.
I guess that's how that goes.
Like the Falcons' third running back.
Yeah, Stafford's looked great this year, which I didn't surprise me. Didn't
Yeah.
surprise me too much.
Yeah, I traded him in a 10 man and I was so torn. It was like, I know he's going to be good, but I was also so stacked at the position that it was like, if I can get
Mm,
anything.
I would say good trade. I have him in one of my 1 years, and he puts up like a solid 25. But
Oh,
he's not
yeah.
like he's putting up the exact project basically, but he's not gonna like have a Kyler Russell Wilson game where he gets 40 to 50.
Yeah,
At
he's
least
never
it
going to be
seems that
running
way.
anything. And that's usually where those extra bonus points come from. It's your quarterback gets 60 yards at 10 yards a point. It's like, bang, bonus touchdown. And if he
Yep.
runs one in, all of a sudden it's like, well, that's why Hertz has been so good.
Yep.
As you throw on, 2 rushing touchdowns, that's 12 and usually another 20 or 30. So it's like 15 points right there. Now the
Yep.
9
And
that he had before, like 24.
yep. And like I said, all those quarterbacks that like scramble like that, they're all amazing bets in fantasy. All of them.
Oh, Josh Allen, running them in, like any of those. There's such a premium. Like we get what, 30 yards passing to a point. So it's like if you can get them at 10 yards a point, throw that on top of there. That's
Oh yeah.
that's a nice bonus.
Let's see. I'm gonna look up some of the fantasy PPR for the week. Jamar Chase has been a little bit of a surprise to me, but I guess it makes
Yeah,
sense with him being past teammates.
I didn't think their line would be good enough for him to get the ball out. And I guess he's got a throat contusion. Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? He
It's
might.
something like that. Like he's
Weird.
on voice rest. Like basically, yeah, his bruised throat,
I
esophagus.
do know people. I do know someone who got like a boil in their throat. So like it would
Oh
like I don't
man.
know, not a boil, but like a cyst
Oh,
or
okay.
something. So
Right.
maybe he has like some kind of weird like blockage in his throat.
Oh no, he got decked in the neck.
Then he just got then he's just bruised, I guess.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's. I guess he's gonna play from what I hear.
Oh man, no. I bet on Joe Mixon and Mike Williams the last 2 years. They didn't do nothing. This year they're in the top. They're doing amazing. God, that just bothers me
Is
so
Mixon
much.
hurt though?
Yeah, he's hurt now, but he's been doing good.
But that was the thing is he was one of those other running backs, one of the few that was gonna get all the touches.
Yep.
And it's like
Well,
shit, he breaks.
Bernard got a lot of the pass catching when he was there.
Right.
Giovanni.
Right. But that's I think that when they let him go, they were kind of like, Mixon's gonna do that now too. I mean, they've got who's it, P. Ryan, who was
Yeah,
kind of
maybe.
in that role, but they don't like Mixon's good enough. You don't need him to come in for that. So he had a big game a week or so ago, but yeah, if he's hurt,
Did you have anybody you bet on this year that's doing well in any of your 1 years?
um nah, not really. I think I tried to lean on Mahomes and Herbert basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's worked out well.
I bet on
Um
DJ Moore and he's top 10.
yeah, I got Kamara, I think, in both of mine.
Is
Otherwise,
he actually playing?
um bye week this week, but yeah, he has been putting up good numbers for me.
I was wondering about that because I haven't been really paying attention to the Saints too much.
No, and that's the thing anymore. I only pay attention to dudes who are on my team.
Yeah,
So it's like I know these guys' stats and their snap share and everything inside and out, and then everybody else, I'm just like a fucking idiot. I don't know anything about how any of them are doing.
I did bet on Deontay Johnson too, but he's obviously been a top PPR guy.
Oh yeah, they just feed it to him, which I'm not sure. I mean, it looks like the line might have started figuring it out.
Yeah,
Ben had time in the last game, and he got the ball out. He got deep to Claypool. He got into Johnson. Like
I see.
it
Who
was
got who
fun.
got hurt? Why did Juju? Was that Juju that got hurt?
Yeah,
I seen
yeah, I saw that play.
I saw a stat. It was like Claypool was at 10% in the slot, and then once Juju's gone, he's at 40% in the slot.
Oof. Wow.
So you might see a little bit more PPR from him,
Yeah, and
like a lot more catches at least.
I tried to get him in all of my dynasties, and the one dude in my second 12 man, he fucking knew I wanted him and traded him off last week. And was like, dude, if you're gonna move him, you got to come to me. I've
Yeah,
been pestering you about him.
you'd think. Well, the first thing is if you know a guy wants him, you know he'll probably pay more. So why would you
Exactly.
go the other way? Unless secretly that guy was pestering him more.
Well, I think he just went to blow up his team, so he was looking at deals from everywhere. Like he had already within a week was like, "Oh, I'm already regretting that." like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're probably going to. Like I don't know. Like I said, Ben's not going to be there too long, but you can't teach 6'4", so I assume whoever takes over is going to figure a way to get him the ball.
Yep. I see Tuo's coming back they're benching Brissett this week.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Tuo's coming back.
What was his deal? Shoulder?
Broken ribs.
Ribs. Oh, fuck.
I think
Ribs.
was it the Steelers that
Terrible.
did that? I can't remember.
It might have been. Yeah, I
I
don't.
mean,
I
the
don't.
Dolphins O line is horrendous. I watched most of them with my brother, and it's like they'd actually be a decent team if their O line was competent.
And
like
that's another thing. It's not for lack of investment in it because they've tried
no
to
idea what to do.
apparently. So it's just like, what do you do when it doesn't work? Yeah, I don't know.
It's been
Ribs are
bad.
the worst.
Well, especially for a throwing motion,
Oh
because
Christ!
you're turning.
I had bruised ribs. I was walking the fucking dog on a hill with grass and it was raining and I stepped on it sideways, went down, landed with my elbow on my ribs. I thought they were fucking broken. I went in, got x-rays, whole deal. They're like, yeah, no cracks, just bruised. It was the most horrendous couple of weeks. Like
Oof.
breathing hurt, let
Oh,
alone
yep.
turning,
I
getting
didn't
into,
even think about that because
oh my God,
expanding.
getting in and out of bed, like everything you do to move, it's those rib cage muscles. And it's just fucking like cat jump on you and go, motherfuck.
Yep.
Like,
I
and then,
had
and then
something
you think
similar with
like,
the hip
now
where it
somebody's
was
going to
like,
hit you there.
oh, brutal. And oh, that'd be so brutal. Yeah, I didn't even think about like just getting out of bed, breathing.
Oh, it's terrible because you kind of need those ribs to live. Yeah, that's one of those things that over the years I was like, quit being a pussy, fucking bruised ribs, get up, like put on a flak jacket. Like, oh no, no, it fucking
Mm.
hurts.
Well, now that you're saying that, this guy commented, "Why not rest Tua? Ribs are no joke."
Thank you.
He's like, and just play Brissett against fucking Jacksonville's ass team.
Right,
It
right.
doesn't. I guess
What's the
why
harm?
not?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
why
think that
not?
might be the thing. They might want to get Tua out there versus an ass team and get him a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, true.
And I don't think that would
Confidence goes a
hurt
long
the
way.
cause. Yeah, yeah. He's another one. I don't know that he was one I avoided in the draft big time.
Yep.
Like I'll put it to you this way: I have this strategy in my Big Ten dynasty where every year for the 3-round rookie draft, I just do a position. I get 3 guys at one
At the
position,
same position.
right? Because
I
you're gonna
kind
fucking
of was thinking
gamble,
about doing that too.
increase your odds. What are the odds you're going to hit on a running back?
Yep.
20%. Well, if I got 3 of them, that goes up to 40. Okay, I'm in. I need to hit a running back. So the year he was in the draft was my year to do quarterbacks. And the reason I did so well was I avoided him.
Yeah, he's weird. It's just I don't. It's almost like he's just good enough for people to be like, I don't know, we'll see. And it's like we already do see, like
Yeah,
we've
but
seen
that's what's so
enough.
amazing is that, a year before he came out, he was the guy that everyone wanted. They were going to tank for him.
Well, that
And now it's
that
like, what would you give up? Would you trade
that
him would you give up a second for him? Like,
I can't remember what
no.
his college injury was, but it's like one of the most brutal injuries you can have for football. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was, but it was really bad.
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't know how these fuckers do it in the first place, to be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah.
God, I remember my freshman year, that fucking Oklahoma drill. I doing
That
that with a kid fucking half my size.
yeah.
He came in like a fucking freight train, and I just remember opening my eyes and hear him buzzing, and I was like, "All right, I'm out."
Yep. We'll take a little break. You can cut this right here.
Mingus do. Thinking Man's Park. Mango Reinhardt. You good kitty. I appreciate that. Oh, penis. Hello and welcome to the first annual Rontoberfest. Take advantage of our delicious accoutrement, including the Bloody Ronzo Bar, Bloody Marys featuring Wisconsin string cheese and beef stick. Also to the left, R2CO2 will be pumping the Rontoberfest. Over on the table, brats and various sausages. Penis in the morning, penis in the evening, penis in the afternoon.
Alrighty. You got a topic at all?
Yeah, why don't we jump into tomorrow's festivities? The first
Yes.
annual Rontoberfest set to go off. Weather looks perfect, sunny and 58. That is drinking weather if I
That
ever
is
heard it.
perfect drinking weather.
Oh, I know, I like that hoodie, but I got my half-assed Bavarian costume put together last night. real half-assed. But when you do it with the mustache and the hat, it looks legit.
Yeah. I can't wait to see that. Me and my dad are golfing at like 11 in the morning, and then we're
Nice.
coming after.
Yeah, sweet. That's it's kind of set up to work like that. So whenever, because people will just be playing the games against each other all day. That's the first thing, the head-to-head game competition. What we've got lined up are 5 games, which I figure you'll play twice at
Yep.
5 points per game, giving you a total of 50. Obviously, bean bags. Don't call it cornhole because that's stupid. Ain't
I
corn.
agree.
Ain't
It's
corn in there.
bags.
Them are beans. Them are bags full of beans. Cornhole's something different, and
It
it's
bothers
real,
me.
real different.
Very different.
It's like, what are
But
you
yeah,
doing, mouse cornholing? Keep it to yourself, Carl. I don't.
yeah,
That's
we don't need
TMI.
to hear that.
Yeah, I was up Saturday night. So yeah, bean bags. I figured we'll get 2 games of that. I built a set of boards, which are looking pretty nice.
What are the other games?
I got a set of giant wooden lawn dice. So they're probably about 4
Okay.
inches. And I spray painted a 5-gallon 5-gallon bucket black to look like a Yahtzee shaker. And then I built a little box that you will basically throw them from the bucket into this little box. And we'll play 6-5-4 head to head,
Okay.
best of 3.
I feel like it'd be a great scene to actually play dice with that for money. Just in a whole
Yeah,
bucket.
you could do, oh, man. It's nice. Like I actually did a 4-gallon bucket first, but it's too small.
Oh yeah.
Like you can do it, but you really kind of got to launch them to get them to roll. So I think once we go up to a 5, that'll work good. And 6-5-4 is a quick game. So like I said, best of 3. It won't take long for people to do those. And then of course, the classic, pass the pigs. Have I familiarized you with the pigs?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
What is it called?
Oh man, it's a classic. I think it's probably from the 70s. It's
I'm
called Pass.
gonna. I can look it
Oh
up,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. Google the shit out of that while I explain it.
it's a
It's
dice game.
yeah, but the dice are little tiny pigs,
Interesting.
and the scores are based on how your little tiny pigs land. If one of them lands standing on their feet, that's 5
Oh,
points. If both of them land on their feet, that's 20. If then there's ways that you can either lose your turn and lose the points that you got on the turn, or else you can lose all your points. So
interesting.
I got probably 7-inch, 6-inch pigs. I got a little bucket, and there's a board, Maddie's dance board. I built a little pig pen that goes around it, and then you will take the bucket and roll them into the pig pen. So
Yeah,
we'll
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it now. Like they can land like kind of like up on their 2 legs and stuff. And
yeah.
interesting.
If they land on the same side, that's 1 point. If they
How have
land on
I never heard of this?
it's an old game. It's I remember playing it as a little tiny kid, and I actually have a set upstairs. I just found them yesterday. But I thought, well shit, if we're gonna scale this up, I'm gonna get some big pigs. And
You know,
then
we should throw a game of beer darts in there. You ever played like actual beer darts?
no.
So everyone sits in a big circle and you get metal darts, and you put the
Okay.
beer can about 5 feet out in front of you,
All right.
and people throw darts at your beer, and wherever the dart hits, you got to drink that beer till the hole in your can.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Huh.
It's pretty fun.
We might have to, yeah, we'll put on, because that's the other thing. If this starts working, we'll do this annually. And what I'd like to do is scale it up to 10 games at 5 points each. So maybe if we can start finding some other cool shit like that, maybe down the road we get up to 10 games.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And you got to get that city thing passed so we can build a fence in your backyard.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Then
well,
it'll be a real good time.
no fence this year, so we'll see. Hopefully, like those little bush, you grow, motherfucker. You
Yeah,
hurry
right.
up and grow.
Gotta talk to those plants. You know, they grow better when you talk to them.
I don't think when you're telling them to fuck off because they're going too slow. Come on, piece of shit. Get 7 feet tall. What's wrong with you?
Oh, did I see something on your Facebook how you guys have a city ordinance against flowers or something?
No,
Like blooming or something?
yeah, well, basically it's a weed ordinance, but they have to write it in a certain way. The way they write it is flowering plants and that seed and blah 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 above 3 inches that aren't cultivated. So basically, I have some weird like wildflowers that birds must shit the seeds over in my lilac bushes, and it's
Yeah.
along the fence line. And it's like I'm not going in there to fucking get them, so I had to go spray the entire fucking thing. It's just like, oh my god, you fucking people. They don't want to be able to be spreading those weeds.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, well,
That
joke's on you because those fucking dandelions are coming in hard next year, and I ain't doing shit about it.
That's another thing we should get up. City or like city codes, a lot of them are just bullshit.
Yeah, it's just how many busybodies you have in a city, how much free time, and how many people willing to go along with it. And generally, the smaller the town, the more of that fuckery there is. But at
And
least it's small scale fuckery.
I think the majority of people use it to be an asshole to their neighbors too.
Right,
I
because
think
they
that's really
don't
the reason.
want to be enough of an adult to go over and say something to the neighbors. They want to call and tattle and have somebody else come and deal with it.
Yep. And then
And
it's like now you have a hatred for all your neighbors because you don't know who really called.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm able to do the math here because I've known the people on one side for like 30 years. I know
Yep.
like the dude on the other side might be coming to Rontoberfest. The house next to me was empty at the time, so it's like starting to narrow down because that can only be seen. It wasn't like you could see it from the sidewalks. Like I literally built it that way intentionally,
Yep.
like I so that you couldn't see this shit. And yeah, I was like, whatever. I ripped it all fucking out. It's working. I think it's gonna work out better though, actually. So I've kind of shifted gears on it. I'm like, okay, now the trampoline's up where all the gravel was, and I'll just
That's one of
move
those
my whole
things where you just
backyard.
want to go into City Hall and be like, I thought this was America. I thought I
No,
could build stuff in the
I did that on Facebook.
backyard.
I was that fucking guy.
It's
Because
like,
the city ordinance, because I had to take down the bar and all the benches because the
oh yeah.
the base for those was wood from the tree that I cut down. And technically, since
Really?
that's not treated wood and it's in ground contact, you can get pests and ants and blah blah blah.
Really? That I didn't realize they had you had to do that too. I
Oh no, that's the
thought
one
you
that they
kept
just
that.
passed. Oh no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
that's the thing. It was a firewood storage ordinance. There was like 6 of them. But yeah,
Jesus.
everything was anything in ground contact that's not pressure treated, blah blah blah. So I had to yank it all fucking out of there. It's like, whatever. So now I moved the trampoline up there, so we're half screened anyway. There's a
That
little
just
bit.
makes me think if it's like every year or two you see an old guy on the news and he's like shot and killed someone in his house. And like, you shot him in the back. He's like, so I thought this was America. He
Yeah,
was in my house. It's like, what are you gonna do? Jail that 80-year-old? Like someone is
like,
robbing him.
well, come on, Lou. We're going to prison.
Yep. He's like, God damn it.
Well, the reruns of Matlock are on. Can't watch Matlock in America no more.
Oh man.
Yeah, so there. Beer pong Roomba.
Oh
That's
yes, yes.
that's the experimental game that we'll be doing tomorrow. Is I realized the shitty Roomba that we bought likes to sit in corners, so someone might have a very much easier game depending on how the shitty Roomba moves or doesn't move.
Well, if it doesn't go well, we could just switch it right over to beer pong. So,
Yeah, just leave it stationary. But
well, I mean,
I
you can
think I
even
think
if the Roombas aren't working, you can just make it into a beer pong thing.
it's like I think them's the breaks. If it sits in the other dude's corner, but I'm gonna put everybody back about 3 feet, I think. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm
And
not
like, if I
using ping
remember,
pong
like you
balls
showed
either.
on Ron like how they sit on it, and they sit at like an angle, so it would be a little
Right,
hard either way.
right. Um, and I didn't use regular ping pong balls because they are not going to be heavy enough outside. So we got like a foam practice balls for golf.
Oh, okay. Do
Yeah,
they
they've
actually
got.
fly decent?
Oh, they fly good. They bounce well.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like the perfect size and weight for this. The problem with that was when we tested it, I don't think we're going to be able to let Ted Jansen out very much tomorrow
Probably not.
because that little prick gets out. Oh my God.
Did he finally start going over the fence?
No, but with people in and out, and somebody will not shut a gate, and he'll fucking weasel through, and I'll be running around the neighborhood dressed like a fucking Bavarian, yelling Ted Jansen. Like,
Yeah.
okay, call in the butterfly nets. The fucking dude across the street's dressed like an old timey German with a stupid curled mustache, and he's out here yelling Ted Jansen in the street. Fucking high socks. Something's got to be done.
Yeah. Medieval armor on or something, just running on the street.
I got the green felt fedora with the feather and the fucking suspenders. I got the whole deal, man. It's if I
Goddamn
gotta
Peter Pan's out here chasing a goddamn dog.
like first the dandelions, now this.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Are we having some kind of encampment?
Yeah, somebody needs to pass an ordinance.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be no dressing like a German. Not
Yeah.
even in October.
And that
but
means all kinds of Germans. Even
speaking of Germans,
that SS.
I got the giant Hammerschlagen log.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got a giant like waist high log.
Oh yeah, I came over there. Remember? I
Right.
suggested to turn it into a Hammerschlagen.
Yeah, it's sitting there. It's looking good.
That game is fun because it's kind of just a way to stand around a log and drink.
Yeah, and I thought we'll do that, just not for points. If people want to do that for whatever, just for fun.
Yeah, and like I never really like I've played it a bunch, but there's never really a point. Like you want to be the first one to hammer your nail down.
Right.
But after that, you're just like, cool, I won first. Like there's no like drinking thing about it.
I think everybody just gets excited and drinks. Like, hey, here to go, Carl.
I think it's just like the inner kid. You're like, I get to swing full power at a nail.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't matter if I miss.
I did it. I got the 3-pound mallet out there the other day and used that skinny end.
Yep.
And that was pretty fucking easy. I think I hammered it in 3 shots.
They have it like set up to where you're supposed to use like the skinny end on the little hammers, but we've always just used like a normal like hammer that you'd have in your house, and it's pretty hard.
I think I'm gonna put both out there.
The way we did it is you have to have your like the hammer has to go back behind your head before you swing. Like you can't line it up and then just like slowly hit it. It has to go above your head and then down.
Yeah, I think I'll have both of them out there and we'll kind of monkey with it. But I don't know if this wood is maybe so soft that it went right in, or that I said I used the 3-pound mallet and I just happened to hit it square 3 times.
Yeah, I mean,
I also wasn't
you'll find
drunk.
out. Yeah, that does.
Like, I think we should hold that off until people are half in the bag and be like, no, fuck it, you're wasting nails, sober guy.
Yeah, I mean, the game's fun. Definitely good to stand around and just talk and drink for sure.
Yeah. So we've got that set up, and I built you saw the giant hook and washer game.
Oh yeah.
I built the base to stand it up, and then I staked it into place. Got some rope tied her down. It's looking good. I think that's our 5 games. Plus, then it's a hammer slog and the bonus one I came up with earlier in the week. Once somebody wins a game head to head, there's a Crown Royal bag full of beer caps. Okay. And they can either choose to go draw from the bag, or they can let their losing opponent draw. But there's powers and punishments in the bag. So depending on what you draw,
you're taking a risk of either taking a power up or losing.
Right. Like you could, maybe you get to give out a couple of drinks, or maybe you get some weird power, or maybe you have to wear the penis hat.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's great. That is
Yeah.
great.
And I've got a little penis-shaped log out there that the hat's going to sit on top of, like a little penis hat rack. Because I really enjoy saying penis.
But yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy if there's 5 people there. We're just hanging around drinking. It's been a while since I got out to do stuff.
Yeah, it's basically mostly my family. And then, like, I don't know if you know Todd from the Wrath of Todd Fine Bucket.
I do not, I don't think. I've seen that he was on your Drinks with Ron.
Yep. Okay. So he should be there. Parker. I don't know if you know Parker, but basically,
I've met all your friends like a long time ago.
Okay.
Like for your bachelor thing.
Oh, right. It's basically, some of those same guys and then my family.
Yep.
That's pretty much who's all going to be there. I might actually go to the bar tonight and try to recruit a couple of people.
I mean, why not?
Yeah. Well, there's like a bartender up at Zippy's.
If anything, while it's going on, we can just invite more people,
Right, exactly. Because that's the way the games are set up, is that, that doesn't, just because every game is, you can go play the other shit. I encourage people to practice that ring toss, because that takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I don't think the first time you play should be for points. But yeah, there's a couple of people who are maybes for the event, so I want to go up there and kind of kajangle them and see if I can
Rope
get them
in.
lean towards the yes.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well go up there and try to rope them in.
Right, exactly. So that's I don't know. I talk a big game. I'll probably be in bed by 8, so we'll see. That's what happens every time they leave for the weekend. I'm like, I'm gonna do these fun things, and at 8:30, like.
Yeah, I always see that Onion article. It's like, man dreads fun thing he signed up for. It's like, I'll be in bed by 8.
Yeah, the last time they were gone, I literally went to bed early on purpose and then set an alarm so I could get up and go to the bar.
Yep.
Overslept the alarm.
I kind of did that last night. I'm like, I don't want to sleep at 8. I want to watch some videos. So I like laid down at 8, like set an alarm for 11, woke up, drank a few beers and watched videos.
Yeah. It's like, no.
Hey, man needs his alone time to watch his sports stuff. And
like, I'm half cooked now. I don't feel like putting on pants and going up to a bar.
Yeah.
It'll be a whole thing, and I'll have to order a drink, and then she's gonna ask me what I want. I'm gonna be like, fuck, I don't know. Why am I here?
And she probably won't make it right if I order a mixed drink.
Right. And like some fucking, there's no beer selection. I'll be like, what do you got? She's like, I think there's an IPA. And it was, gee, thanks. Narrows it down.
What's up with the IPA thing lately, man?
Yeah, the last probably 7 years or so, IPAs just fucking went like fucking rabbits.
Yeah, they're like, let's. Well, I think it's just, I literally think it literally only has to do with the alcohol percentage. They're like, I can drink 3 or 4 of these and get a hammer.
Yeah, and I know some people who like that idea, and it's like,
yeah, it's like, I can just drink mixed drinks if I want to get drunk faster.
It's like everybody just started dumping a shitload of hops in there, and it's like, really, that's what we've come to? Or just like, you know what, just quadruple it. Like,
I've always kind of steered away from super hoppy beers, honestly.
I don't mind it hoppy as long as it's not bitter, which at least most of them list the IBUs now. Like, if you can give me a mega hoppy beer, like when I take the lid off and you can just smell the skunk, but then it's not bitter as fuck, I'd be in on that.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I've kind of become more tolerant of a little bit darker beers, but when hoppy stuff is, I can't get used to that bitterness. I don't know I just can't.
No, well, and it depends on the hop too. Like Point did, I don't know how many years ago, they did an all Cascade. It wasn't an IPA, but just some kind of all Cascade pale ale. And when you took the top off, you could smell pine trees, and it was so good. And that's the only time I've ever seen it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got it at Viking on one of those Dells trips where we stayed at some weird hotel.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How does Vikings beer selection get worse over time?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just they realize carrying so much shit.
Well, I remember like when it was like the thing before, like the whole like pick your own six pack was the entire sidewall, and now it's just
Yeah.
like one section.
They
It's like,
must
okay.
they must have got some information that said we're not selling these like we thought we would, and we've got all this leftover stock that's not getting sold before it's needs to be
Well,
marked down.
I guess it kind of makes sense when you got a supermarket size alcohol place.
Right. And I mean, that's a cool thing for somebody like me, but most people in Wisconsin, in rural Wisconsin,
Oh yeah, they're like, I'm
it's
gonna
a
go
light
get my
beer.
Bud Light.
Right. Like, where do you keep the cores?
Yeah, for like you kind of got me into like just trying new beers, so I'm like totally happy doing stuff like that. But yeah,
Right.
most of my friends, they drink one thing and one thing only. They don't even mix up anything.
That blows my mind. Like, I know so many people like that. Like, really? Do you just do missionary forever?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, since
It's like how
1986, I just missionary. It's all I do.
it's like you don't ever desire to like find something else. Like
Nope.
I don't get it.
Nope. I had missionary sex in 1986, and I have not done anything different since. Thank you very much.
Haven't changed it for a bit, and guess what? I got a wife, so I'm doing something right.
Like, nope. A little Bud Light and some missionary. And a hot pocket.
Those people spend 6 hours looking at their lawnmower every night.
Name it.
No, but yeah, it's like
Can't
I don't
quit you,
understand
Carl.
how could you only drink Bud Light or Miller Lite for like years and years and years.
I know so many people that do that.
It's like I don't get it.
Yeah, I said, why I can't. I just don't fathom it. That's
No,
the
and
best
for me,
analogy I can draw.
I feel like a hipster because they're like, "Have you tried this?" I'm like, "I tried that like 3 years ago." I'm not even
Right.
trying to be like
I'm out here
hipster
living
about it.
life, motherfucker.
It's like I literally go out and actively look for new beers every time I'm in the store.
You doing there with your Bud Light and your goddamn frozen TV dinner, watching your CBS Monday comedy lineup?
I think someone
Fucking
asked me if
live.
someone asked me if I drink New Glarus 2 Women. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
That's quality
7
beer.
years ago. Like, obviously I have. They're like, oh yeah, I just tried it. It's like, well, how have you not tried their other beers?
Right, and that's like if you're going to be around here, like the brewery that people kind of stray off of beer, like Spotted Cow around here, that's the one beer that people that don't drink light beer will drink.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense to me because to me that's like a mediocre beer.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Spotted Cow is just okay.
it's like my favorite thing is that Bears fan just holding that
Yeah.
sign up. Spotted Cow's just okay. It's like that.
I had that as my
It's
profile
true, though.
picture on Untapped for a long time.
Yep,
Like,
and it's
so
funny.
true.
It's like when you
It's a
see
nice
people
beer. I
drinking
like it.
Yeah, I'll drink them. Whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not special, but okay. I did see New Glarus released like a few more new beers. I haven't tried any of those. Did you
Yeah,
see
they
those?
like to rotate them through. I saw they do their yearly fruit stuff too. Usually comes out
Yeah,
around this time.
I think
I
that's.
saw there's a pear out.
Yeah, let me check. There's
I almost bought that.
Fat Squirrel's back.
Oh, okay,
Fat
nice.
Squirrel's back. What's this other one? Doppler? Gyrator Doppler?
I haven't seen that.
It's a newer one.
No, sir, I haven't.
Let me see. Yeah, they don't really say what type of beer it is, but yep, and then they did their strawberry one. Strawberry rhubarb.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I think I have some of those. Like they did all those how many years ago with the wax dip tops?
Oh yeah.
I got like
I
3
think
of
their
those.
Oktoberfest is out too right now.
Oh yeah, I think it is. I think I saw that the other day.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, have you heard the development? I think I've told you the development on the Oktoberfest beer.
I don't think so.
That I will have. Well, I'll have the Rontoberfest Marzen on tap.
Oh
right
yes,
at the house.
yes. I did see that.
5 gallons of that. Well, my buddy Jorge His
Gotta love a Jorge. That's a big Buenos Dias.
his Oktoberfest just got done too, but apparently he bought a party tap, which I could have just let him use one of them I rigged together. But apparently he's going to bring a keg of his as well.
Okay.
I don't know how big this keg is, so we're going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 gallons of Marzen. And if he brings his, it's
That's
going to
not a
be
challenge for
way
us.
better than mine.
Not a challenge for us.
Oh, yeah. If like I said, if his is there, it's going to be the superior beer. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, Oktoberfest. For me, they're so hit or miss. They're either amazing or you're like, eh.
Well, him and another dude do all grain brewing.
Okay.
So it'll be, and everything I've had from this guy has been just lights out. Like he's meticulous. I
He's
brewed with him one
one of
time,
those
and
mad scientists.
he's like the recipe. Like I brewed with him one time. I think I heard him say, "Oh, this isn't gonna work," like 15 times. Like John,
Yeah.
it's gonna work. No, we didn't get that. That wasn't it. If you did it for 11 and a half minutes instead of 12, we're gonna be okay, John. No,
Yep.
it's not gonna. I don't think
You-
it's gonna work.
But you see that in like every profession. It's like they have it down to a science, and as soon as it's past that point, they're like, nope, this is not right.
Yeah, because my buddy Parker's there going, no, I've brewed with Ron. You wouldn't believe how half-assed you can do it. It's gonna work. It's gonna work out just fine.
Yep.
They're like, no shit, nope. He's like, the purist, the beer
Yeah.
purist.
Like I said, there's that in like every hobby. Every hobby. You could half-ass a lot of hobbies, and then you meet the guy that does everything to code. You know?
Oh, that's him. That
Yeah,
is
he does
him.
everything to code. You're like, well, you can't veer this guy off track. Like if it's done wrong, it's done wrong.
I took him some bottles of root beer, just gave him like a 6-pack of root beer. He looked at me and he said, "Green bottles." I said, "Motherfucker, I just gave you free beer."
Green
Rhubarb. It
bodies.
goes in green bottles. I did that intentionally.
That's funny.
Yeah, like, fuck, drink, shut up and drink it.
That is great.
Like, you gotta be, he was serious as fuck.
What's so bad about green bottles? What does it mess with the taste?
Well, you want them darker to keep light from getting in because green, so it would be more, but it's like, this was an imported German beer. If green was good enough for them, it's good enough for my rhubarb beer. Like the first time Parker took him some bottles of my stuff, I hadn't taken the labels off. Oh God, I think I still hear about that. Oh, at least the labels aren't on this time. Like
That's hilarious.
like this ain't Sam Adams, motherfucker. Like what I gotta tell you? Like, it's gonna taste the same. Fuck. I go
That's
draw
amazing.
a mustache on Sam Adams, a little fucking make him look like the zigzag guy with the goatee. Like it ain't gonna change anything.
I will say, I want this on record. Last podcast, I said fuck Lamar Jackson. He can't throw, and he threw for 400 yards and 4 TDs.
I was actually gonna bring that up.
I blame that performance on myself.
Yeah.
He will
he
be
can
throwing
throw.
wounded ducks next week. So. Oh man.